I do apologize if my thumb gets in the way a little bit here. This is Mulligan. She's a rescue dog, and we gave her the name Mulligan because, like in golf, she's getting a second chance. And so I'm gonna just get this ready for. This is an every morning project. Is I have to take Mulligan. And these are really kind of cool leashes that you're going to see here this morning. But I have to take Mulligan, who is 3. Come here, girl. And Lucy, who is her older sister that's teaching her. Yeah, Lucy, say hi. Hi to everyone. And Lucy, like I said, is the older sister, 13. And I have to take them both for a walk. Now these leashes, I don't know where my wife Carmen got them from, but they work super good because the dogs always used to pull. But with these leashes, they're very calm and really good. So, even though it's Christmas morning, this is the first project I have every day. Out we go. Mulligan is still, we've had her about a year and a half now, I think. And she's still a little skittish. She hates vehicles. Trying to get her in a car to go for a ride is really kind of funny on how we have to do that. Christmas 2023, we came home from my father-in-law's place last night, and 9 o'clock, northern Wisconsin, no snow, and 49 degrees. Unheard of. Really unheard of. So, and today we've had a lot of fog because of how warm it is. But just kind of the cabin there. And we bought this back in 2005. And my wife and my son and some other people, we spent a little over a year in our free time, just totally changed the layout inside. And it was going to be a fix it up and flip it. And kind of a flip project. And we fell in love with it. I mean, I've got the boat landing right across the road here. And, you know, I can walk across the street, throw a line in, catch some fish if I want to, or, you know, we giggle because if my car would happen to be in neutral, rolls out the driveway, you know, it lands up right in the water. You know, we're very blessed to have a location we do, and there's, I don't know, 100 and some acres behind us here that we don't own that. I think we've got about just a tad under 3 acres here, but I can go back and fart around back in the woods and cut firewood, or, you know, just take the dogs for a walk back there if I want to. And we've been I'm very blessed. You know, being Christmas, these two here are great dogs, aren't you, Mulligan? Yeah, you're a really good girl, aren't you? Yeah. And it's nice, you know, like this. I'm one that always has to be in motion. So I'm just trying to get used to this idea where, you know, if I want to sit down and watch a little NFL football or something like that, you know, my body's starting to adjust to that idea, being able to do that. And mentally being able to do that. But even this morning, being in the position we are through the real estate, and you know, we made some good decisions at younger through the real estate, that I get up even on Christmas if I want to go out in the Four Season room and work out there for a couple hours. I can do that. You know, I'm trying. I'm mentally trying to just say, okay, it's Christmas Day. I'm not going to do any work at all. But I don't know if I can do that. Just don't know if I can do that. You'll probably see a follow-up video on me out there putting up some insulation and maybe hanging some of the ceiling paneling that we got from Enterprise Wood Products. But gotta wait for Mulligan here and Lucy. But Mulligan had to do her morning pooper. So, you know, we've been lucky, and what I try to do is get things done the first part of the day, and then the second part of the day is what do my wife and I want to do. You know, I try to do things that way so we get a little quality time together, and like today. So today is Christmas Day, and when Carmen gets up, we'll have a little conversation and see if she wants to do anything. But yeah, we may sit down, watch a Christmas movie, or I may go into the office and watch a little football. But we'll see. I looked at some things yesterday morning. I said I have that pile of maple in back. You know, 1x that we cut out of the logs off the property. And as soon as I get the ceiling done, hopefully I have that done this week, then I'm going to start making that into the paneling for the walls. And that, I know how I'm going to do it. I got to run it through the planer and then run it through the saw with a dado blade, and, you know, basically put a 1/2-inch groove in the back and front opposite sides. We'll get a video done on that. But so I'm hoping that, you know, it's just an investment of my time, and it's I think going to be cool that it's the lumber off of our property. It's been made by me, and you know, it's a part of our Four Season room there. And I kind of look at it, the projects. If I do the projects like this, I'm going to make that siding cost zero. The cost, sorry about that, the cost that we have into the Four Season room, oh yes, and they've got to sniff everything. That's why these leashes do work good, because we work on the sniff and walk. But for a while there, I was having to pull, and I think that's why I got the arthritis in my shoulders from these guys being super hyperactive, but they're not that hyperactive anymore. But they make sure that Dad gets his walk every day. Now, Diva over here, Lucy, the black dog here, if it gets to be about 9:30 or sooner, 8:30, depends, about a half hour after we get up. And if I'm not moving, she starts talking to me that, Dad, you got to get your butt in gear because it's time for us to take you for a walk. So they do, and this is Lake Mohawkson over here, or actually this is part of the Somo. There's a bridge straight down, a railroad bridge that kind of divides Lake Wisconsin, or Lake Mohawkson, which is part of the Wisconsin River chain. We kind of had a giggle because we owned a year ago. And technically, I could take the boat from the cabin to our 8-unit apartment building, and then I could take the boat to pretty close to where my wife's shop is, and slash house that we now have rented out. Like I said, we bought the cabin with the idea of we were going to fix it up and sell it. And I just fell in love with the property behind it. We paid, in today's terms, hardly anything for it. We put some money into it without a doubt. We put a new septic in, new well in, and, blacktop driveway, the addition last year with the four-season room and that concrete pad out there. And I know you're wondering, well, why did you put the concrete pad out there? You probably have seen it in some of the other videos. One, so we could park the vehicles there, or have people that come over, park the vehicles and not have to get out in the mud, because in springtime when the snow is melting, it would get a little muddy around there. And two, we can't put a garage on that. Simply, we run into zoning issues, so we can have a concrete pad, but we can't have a permanent structure there. And I don't know if I want a permanent structure there, because I don't want to block the view in front of the four-season room there, going out toward the lake. We've got at least 3 really neat views with that four-season room, or 3-season room, however we're going to use it. To the back, to the one side, and actually back toward the road and across the road to the lake. Got 3 really neat views inside of that room. That's part of the reason too we've talked about, I'd love to have a 30 by 50 shed tucked back in the trees where, I could store the plow truck, I could put the tractor in and store my lumber, and have things kind of not out in the open. But then, so like many people do up here, they buy the land for because they love the nature, and then before you know it, they got a house up, they got a shed up to store their snowmobiles and boats and pontoons and that kind of stuff, and you wreck the view. Now, Mulligan's gotten pretty smart. She knows when a car comes, she goes over to the shoulder of the road, which is a big improvement for her. Merry Christmas! Julie heading somewhere. Come on. So this is my one project that I do every day. We get the dogs out, take them for a walk, and again this morning it's going to be 40 some degrees, absolutely unheard of for northern Wisconsin. But and normally we'd be probably out snowmobiling this afternoon, but as you can see, that's not happening. And it's been so warm, all the lakes and rivers up here and the swamps, all of that stuff is still open. In order to get the snowmobile trails through, they got to run the big groomers through. I might do a video on grooming later on this year with my buddy Dean, that was helping me helping me frame in the ends of the 3-season room, and then we started on the ceiling paneling the other day. He drives a groomer for one of the snowmobile clubs just south of, back down where in the Wausau area. So we might take a ride with him one night. He said that would make a cool video. So, and I think he's right. So I might do a little groomer video. But normally I don't do that stuff. So we've turned the corner. We're headed back home. And this is pretty when you have snow hanging off the trees and that kind of thing. And it's once again, I'm looking at it. The grass is halfway green, and we're basically into January. It's just unheard of for up here. So, a lot of people go south in the wintertime from up in northern Wisconsin here that are retired. We call us snowbirds, and because we leave when the snow comes, we go south like the birds do. I'm sure you put that together. But Carmen and I, we stay. We do take a trip. One of the things that, because of with the properties, we've been able to, we take about 17 days and we go to Maui. So we're scheduled to go to Maui come March, and that's kind of our vacation. But we do that after the snowmobile season is done, because we love to ride our sleds. She's got a 600 Skidoo, I've got an 850 Skidoo, and we love being outside and riding the trails, and going places and doing things. So, and then right after that season's over with, we take kind of a vacation as the weather begins to transition over to summer, and I don't have yard work yet or outside work on the buildings to do. Another project, 2024, got to get it done, is my duplex down in Blue Jay needs a little bit of basement attention. I'm still trying to figure out, anyone's got a good product out there. Back years ago, I had used the Drylock, and I've got a little water seeping in along the bottom edge of the basement, and there's a couple places where I get a little water that comes in the wall. Not too bad, but so I'm going to go through. I've got to wire brush it down and reseal that on the one side, and then the other side, the wall is leaning in a little bit. It's been that way forever, but I kind of want to just make sure that's good and secure. So I've seen some things where you can get these, they call them Gorilla braces or whatever, and you put steel beams in, and you go down there, you give them a crank about once a month, and it'll straighten the wall out. Then I saw a guy do it with 2x4s and wood shims. And so, me being, cheap as I am, I still have my First Communion money. I'm gonna try that, I think. Actually, the reason I'm gonna go with 2x4s and shim it in, and then you just go down at the once a month and you tap the shim, and that pushes the wall over too, or keeps it from coming over anymore. But the reason that I want to do that too is it's a little bit lighter. The steel braces, they weigh about 70 pounds, I guess. And, with my back and shoulders and that, I don't want to be messing with trying to get those in the basement. 2x4 is much lighter. And if it'll do, if it'll keep it from ever moving any more than it has, that would be a good deal. Well, I was going to talk about 5 minutes. I apologize. I guess we got the entire walk in. Here's that slab what I talked about the other day that I brought up. That's part of the tree that's making up the walls for here. That tree actually sat right off the corner of the house here. And, basically we had to take it down when we looked at doing the expansion stuff that we're doing. Huge tree. So, everything gets used, right, Lucy? Right, Mulligan? Once again, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Mulligan says, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe button.